It really is a delight to see so many faces that are familiar on screen, and just to have this opportunity on Thank a Teacher Day to say a huge thank you to you. Whether you're a staff member, a chair of governors, whether you're part of the team from Flourish House or through BW Mat, through our other multi-academy trust too, we just want to say a massive thank you. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of the children as well, because what a year it has been. We thought last year was bad, and it's gone on and on and on, and still looks as if we may have complexities to come. So I just wanted to say thank you for your resilience. Thank you for your continual optimism and positivity. Thank you too for the way in which you've put not only children but their families first. And I know sometimes that's been to the detriment perhaps of your own personal space and family time. So I wanted to say a massive, massive thank you for all of that. It really is an example to our wider world and indeed the church. And I know that clergy colleagues who share with you in the ministry of living and telling the story of God's love to our children and their families would echo what I'm saying. Last time we met on screen, we used the words from our Dwelling in the Word passage. It's from Colossians, and it's a letter that Paul wrote to that small church. And it was a letter of encouragement and a letter of thankfulness. Now, I'm not going to revisit it in full. I want to spend time reflecting on a prayer together. But I do just want to remind ourselves of those opening words from Colossians 3, verses 12 to 17. As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved. As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved. Paul was someone who was restricted in his own way because of some of the challenges he was facing in ministry. He often found himself in prison. He often found himself hounded out of town. He knew something of what it was to be in lockdown, if you like. Therefore, he wrote letters. And he wrote letters that said, I appreciate you, I value, I thank you, not just for what you're doing for me, but for what you're doing for the Lord. And he kept reminding people of who they were, their identity as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved. And I just want to say that to you today. You each have a vocation to do what you do as a teacher, as a servant amongst our schools. And we really value that you feel that sense of calling. It may be through personal faith, it may not, but that sense of being dedicated and committed to those children and young people whom you serve. And I want you to be aware and to know that God recognizes that too, that you are chosen, that you are holy, that you are beloved. Paul goes on then to say, so that means you need to clothe yourselves in love and compassion, kindness, humility, patience, bearing with one another, forgiving one another when we fall out, when there's a complaint against us, recognizing something of the love of Christ in the way in which we live, being prayerful, recognizing the peace of Christ, even when it feels as if our feet are paddling under the water at some ridiculous speed, and being patient, patient for what is to come and perhaps feels far off, and being thankful, recognizing that it's in gratitude and in thankfulness for even the small things in life that we can see something of God at work and recognize his presence amongst us in the quiet and still moments. Hence these gatherings online. It's an opportunity to get out of the melee, all of the difficulties of Ofsted now returning, as we've just been hearing, of clamour around us, of people demanding more attention or knowing what the guidance is, or all of those little things that can often interrupt our days. But recognising that we have something to be thankful for. Gratitude to God for being his chosen ones, holy and beloved. So whether you're giving out chocolate to your staff today to say thank you, whether the children come and bring a card, whether there's flowers to be shared or a conversation to be had, or just the opportunity to say a simple thank you, receive it today because you are holy and beloved. And I want to use the words of a prayer to reflect on. It's quite a lengthy prayer, but it's one I've chosen specially for you because it's a prayer of John O'Donoghue, and it's from his book Benedictus, which is a book of blessings. Because I'm grateful, as Paul was grateful for the church in Colossians, I'm grateful for you and all you give to our young people across our diocese. And this is a blessing, a prayer for a leader. Somebody shared with me recently, and I was at an opportunity of stillness, a retreat for 24 hours. And it was just such a moving prayer. It really touched my heart, and I hope it touches yours and gives you the sense that you are indeed God's chosen one, holy and beloved. May you have the grace and wisdom to act kindly, learning to distinguish between what is personal and what is not. May you be hospitable to criticism. May you never put yourself at the centre of things. May you act not from arrogance, but out of service. May you work on yourself, building up and refining the ways of your mind. May those who work for you know you see and respect them. May you learn to cultivate the art of presence in order to engage with those who meet you. When someone fails or disappoints you, may the graciousness with which you engage be their stairway to renewal and refinement. May you treasure the gifts of the mind through reading and creative thinking, so that you continue as a servant of the frontier, where the new will draw its enrichment from the old, and you never become a functionary. May you know the wisdom of deep listening, the healing of wholesome minds, the encouragement of the appreciative gaze, the decorum of held dignity, the springtime edge of the bleak question. May you have a mind that loves frontiers so that you can evoke the bright fields that lie beyond the view of the regular eye. May you have good friends to mirror your blind spots. May leadership be for you a true adventure of growth. They're incredible words, aren't they? Words of prayer, words of blessing for each of you. About the graciousness with which we engage that helps people to find their way, their stairway to renewal and refinement. The ideas of creative thinking and words that are used well, the wisdom of deep listening. I hope, friends, that as you spend the rest of the day reflecting on what it means to serve our young people in our schools across the diocese, these 33,000 plus young people that we are there to care for, that in your leadership, in all that you offer, not only will you remember that you are chosen, holy and beloved of God, but reflect on what that leadership journey looks like for you. And may leadership be for you a true adventure of growth. Amen.